So hello, we are going to start with this video reading an Einstein quotation, and it goes like this. I would spend 55 minutes defining a problem and then 5 minutes solving it. So what Einstein wanted us to understand from that message is that it takes longer to make the procedures to something that we are going to develop than developing it, right? So it takes longer to prepare something that we are going to do than doing it. And then we are going to start with our brainstorm video. So we are going to provide some tips to have a really nice brainstorm, and I'm gonna provide the number one, that is define the problem. Well, to define the problem, it is like come up with the topic of the things we are going to write. If for example, we gotta be passionate about the things we are going to write. If we don't write about something we don't like or something we don't know, first of all, we gotta know what we are going to write. So we gotta get in the background of the topic we are intended to write about. So for example, if I'm gonna write about education or about English language learning and stuff, gotta get in the background. I gotta look for information as much as I can, so that way I'm gonna define my problem properly. I mean, I'm gonna know what am I going to talk about, so that way I am going to be prepared. And I'm gonna continue with the tip number 2, and it goes like this: free writing and get quantity. Well, as the title of the tip says, I gotta come up with a lot of ideas. I gotta think about a lot of things that I want to write about. For example, as I was saying before, I am going to talk about English language learning. So, for example, in El Salvador, I gotta look for the benefits, or for example, what are the benefits of learning English in El Salvador? What are the job opportunities for young people who know English? What are the benefits for adult people who know English in this country? Because as we know, English is worldwide language. Everywhere we go, we are going to speak in English. So, and people is going to understand, or people is going to learn English to talk with us, right? So basically, when I come up with a lot of ideas, I'm gonna get a good one. So the best way of getting one idea is get a lot, right? So that's why it's free writing. We are going to think about everything we want, and then we are going to get the quantity we want, right? And that leads me to the tip number 3, right? And it goes like this: criticize your notes and select the ones you like the most. All right. So, for example, if I was writing about English and I thought about a lot of things, I gotta purify all that information, because I already got a lot of information. So I gotta come up with the ones I'm gonna work with. So all of it is a really good material, but I gotta select one concrete idea to come up with the real one, with the ones I'm gonna work with. So that means that from that lot of ideas that I already have, gotta criticize it. Does that convince me? Is that good enough? Is that interesting? Is that boring? So once I did that questions, I'm gonna have the real idea. So that means I gotta be really conscious about what am I going to work with. So we can, for example, we can mention that we are going to have better job opportunities in El Salvador for knowing English, or for learning English in adult people. It's gonna be better opportunities to travel to another countries. So that way, I'm gonna have a concrete idea of the ones I'm gonna work with. And this goes like this: my classmate Lizandro is going to share a few other tips, and thank you.
Okay, let's start talking about the tip number 4, which is clustering. But what clustering refers to? It refers to the creation of information groups, which in other words could be understandable as a mind map or diagrams. This technique will help us to clarify and produce ideas in a better way. It means that they're not going to be simple ideas, because they are going to be supported by more details, extra information that are closely related with the respective topic. It can also help us to compare our ideas and look for similarities between them. Therefore, when comparing, we can combine ideas to build on strong information or discover extra facts. So our text is going to be constructed step by step. If you wonder about how to create a cluster, it is just a simple work in which you have to define the area you're going to talk about. For instance, like if you choose education, this is going to be your topic. So you have to define it as education, and it's going to be the general topic that you have selected. And the rest of ideas or facts that are going to be around it, so around education, that is going to be our topic. So you're going to start thinking on many suggestions for this topic, as education needs, advantages of education, social problems in education, and you start creating a list of creative proposals, and each of these ideas are going to lead you to more information of the field you are interested. So it is a really good way to start having or to start creating a information list, because you have the main ideas, and then you can start creating or you can start thinking about more information from the thing that first it was just only an idea, but this idea becoming something more. Okay, that's for clustering. That is the tip number 4. Now let's move ourselves to the tip number 5, which is be a journalist. What a journalist does. So it is a question that we can ask ourselves. And a journalist asks several questions. So that's going to be your work. But in this case, the questions are going to be from you to you. So what you have to do is to change your outlook, your complete point of view, and start asking yourself. So this is a really good strategy to know which is the path that your writing is taking or that your writing is following. And to start, you can provide an answer to the simple word why. And some questions related to this word could be, why are you writing it? Why are you interested in this topic? But also, there are more questions directed to the audience. For example, who are you writing for? Who will want to read my text? Is it interesting for people? Does it catch people's attention? Is it complete? Are ideas related? Or what are you trying to share? But the most important thing behind it is how you visualize your work during the process, and how you expect an excellent result of it. And by the other side, the motivation you have while writing and the huge desire to create not only a text, but also a piece of writing that can be shared in different manners, as you can imagine your writing or your text as a really good podcast. And you can start asking yourself, am I writing what I want? Am I sharing what I want? Are people understanding the main point or the main idea of my topic? Those are important questions that can change the way that your writing is taken. Because when we start asking ourselves as journalists, we can start finding many answers that can change not only our ideas, but also our point of view. Because sometimes we can start writing something that is not going to be interesting for people, but we consider that is interesting for us. But we have to write to express what others want to know. So that's why we have to start thinking about what others are interested in. Of course, we have to provide our point of view in the text or in our writings, but if no one is interested in, so we are not going to achieve a good result and an excellent outcome. So it has been everything for these tips for brainstorming information, and thanks for your attention. Hope you like it, and hope this information is going to be useful in your future writings.